it didn't take me too long to realize that I was trying to find those things, like where's something that is the color bronze, or what's going to be symbolic of or demonstrate fire. And I realized that that was really inhibiting me. I was walking around doing it like a mantra, you know, fire, bronze, heart, heart, bronze, fire, and I had to see these things somewhere, and I kind of wasn't. And so, because I tend to be, part of me tends to be inclined to really follow the rules and do what I'm told. You know, that was the assignment. And so eventually I just thought, you know, let me let go of that a little bit and let it sort of drop into my unconscious, as opposed to be scouring the landscape for the things I'm supposed to see. So that was interesting. And eventually I came over here because I wanted to eat pizza. And so I got a slice of pizza and sat down where I could look out the window, and that was fun because there were people going by, and so it was fun to check them out. And occasionally they would glance in my direction and I would smile, which I was also doing on the street. And to me that's always fun because some people will smile too or say hi, and other people are like, oh my God, she smiled at me, what's wrong with her, you know, get out of here. So that was fun. So sitting there, I saw this woman walking by. Okay, I'm going to back up. This area is not an area that I'm familiar with. I live in Narberth, which is a little cozy town where I know a lot of people. It would be very rare to walk down the street and not see people that I know. And if I didn't know them, I would still say hi because it's that kind of place. And so it was interesting to have the experience of city and different kinds of people that I would normally see. And so this woman walked by and I thought, oh my gosh, she looks like what we tend to call a mainline matron. Gray hair, pulled back, you know, attractive. Probably turned out she was a little younger than I am. I'm 67. And I thought, oh, that's interesting because she's the kind of person I wouldn't expect to see wandering around here. And she appeared also to be wandering. She kind of looked around. She walked by once. I kind of smiled, so she smiled a little bit. And then she came by again, and I realized that she was heading in. So I smiled at her again, and we said hi, and she kind of sat down next to me. And I said, I really like your shirt. She had a t-shirt that she said the design, it's very archetypal design, and she said it was called Flowers of Life. So it's like all these circles, and it appears in different cultures. And so we just struck up this conversation, and I thought, perfect. I had finished my pizza. I wasn't sure what to do with myself next. I don't like to eat naked crust. I had asked the guy, I had asked the guy to put a little more sauce on the crust because it had that wide border of naked crust, and that, not what. If I wanted bread, I would eat bread. So I asked him to put sauce on it. They didn't do that. I had gotten over my annoyance, and I gnawed at the crust, and then I was just sitting there looking out the window. And letting things be, as opposed to, what are those words again? What's my assignment? So along comes this woman. So we start chatting, and gosh, before long we were talking about Carl Jung and dreams, and I used the word archetypal about her design, so it seemed like it didn't take long for us to kind of get that we were on the same wavelength. And we talked about, oh my gosh, she's going to be seeing this very well-known Jungian guy in Ardmore. I live about 2 miles from there. She lives in Delaware. We ended up talking about dreams. I told her the story of, I used to come to improv quite regularly, and having come for years pretty much, except for that one time when I came with a friend. So I have assumed that it's just been going on the whole time, and I'm always telling myself, you need to go, you need to go there again. So about a week and a half ago, I had a dream that I went to an improv thing, but it wasn't the incubator, and it wasn't you. I kind of wanted it to be you, but it was other people, and it was sort of in this warehouse-like thing, and it was actually, this is a really boring dream because nothing was happening. Like, there were people there, and I am used to the incubator, and I thought, okay, so we're going to gather, and we'll do some warm-ups and some games, and it seemed like time was going by, and nothing was coalescing. People would sort of looked like they were forming a group, and then they weren't. And so it just seemed to go on. And I finally thought, I'm here to do this, so I'm going to gather some people and say, hey, why don't we just start playing some games? So I had this group of people, and I thought, finally, something will happen. And then I looked around, and the people were all dispersing, and they were going off to little areas where you could do crafts. There were like doll houses, and there was dirt, and you could make gardens. And I was very annoyed and disappointed because that was not what I was there for. Rick wasn't there, it just, what's the point? So this was this bummer of a dream, and the next day in my inbox, talk about synchronicity, very important word. I love this word and this phenomenon. The next day, there's an email from Rick, because I had been thinking, gee, I haven't heard from him. I wonder if it's going into my spam. Well, there. Email from Rick, workshop, $30, CEC, Sunday, I could make that work. And so I was like, oh, that's perfect. So I tell this woman my dream, and she loved it, and I asked her about if she has any notable dreams that she's had or dream themes, and she told me her story of going into this room in this retreat or something, and there was a guy sleeping in a bed, and when he got up, she saw that he was wearing a brown robe, like what's it? Oh, it starts with a C. It's some kind of monk. Anyway, there's a spiritual teacher who got up and, thank you, capuchin, like the monkey. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Cappuccino, all of it. Right. So that dream was very meaningful to her, and before long, she was telling me what she was doing over at the CEC that day. Sounded very cool and actually somewhat not similar, congruent with what we were doing. And I said, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you, but I'm actually on a quest. And fortunately, that didn't freak her out at all. She loved the sound of it. So that was sort of my my highlight. Like, I felt like I fulfilled my assignment by virtue of somehow attracting this woman to me, because when I was walking around the street, I thought, maybe I'll just go up to people and say, so what is it like to be a student at Drexel? How old are you? Or, I see you're wearing a sweater that's sort of a bronze tone. Can you tell me about that? Or, have you ever been in a fire? And it's like, no, I'm trying too hard. So this happened, and we exchanged email addresses, and oh, of course. Cool. And so from there, I just wandered some more, ended up over at Drexel, where I think I snuck in illegally to a building because a student was coming out, and I had tried the doors, and the doors were locked. And then the student was coming, so he opened the door, and I walked in and sat and read about fashion, which is something that it's not at all my thing, but it's fascinating. These are like, costumes. It's a whole museum of costumes and stuff. And wandered around these empty hallways, found a ladies' room, filled my water bottle, checked the time, and eventually wandered back here to rejoin all of you. And great to be with you, and I'm looking forward to hearing about your quests.
Great, thank you. Very interesting, very, very interesting. So you made a new friend and heard her story and had a conversation. Interesting, because sometimes there are some people who have done the quest who wandered into a bar in New York and did nothing but talk to everybody in the bar at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Who's in a bar at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? What kind of stories do they have? So this is very, very interesting. So the one was awesome there. Great. Any questions? Any?
We saw you taking it. We took a picture of some shattered glass.
Yes, did you see me doing that? Yeah.
We were in the car right there, and we saw you. And we actually saw the woman who dumped all that shattered glass on the pavement right before you got there.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was doing. I would have gone up there and asked her, but